Here we go. Let it all begin. Wait, that didn't happen, right? Get over there where you belong. Okay, there you go. Right.
I know. Get over there. What are you doing over here?
You blipped
Happy
out for a
Sunday,
second, didn't you?
everybody. Yeah. Happy Sunday and or not.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you what. I came in when I said I was gonna be coming into this area smoking. Yeah, I squealed to a halt, ran up the stairs. How's that?
Well, yeah, I was getting ready to start and I'm like, wait, I don't know what we're looking at. So
Yeah,
I was just gonna get on and tell a story. And
stories are always good.
yeah, I was gonna tell a story and see what everybody thought about the story.
Well,
But
tell the
now that
story
you're
anyway, because
here,
I'm still bringing it up whether you like it.
I figured when you got here, you'd jump right in and we
Yeah,
could
it's just
finish up the story and move on.
yeah, it was one of those things where I was, that like I said, when I had a memorial service on Thursday or Friday I had to go to, and today was the quote unquote celebration of life thing. So I was like, I got to go because I make the plaques for them. So when I made the plaque for it, I have to present it, obviously. And plus, this lady I've known for probably 8, 9, 10 years or so, and she's been one of the how can I put it, one of the better people that you'd ever meet, type thing.
Right,
So
right, right.
she deserved every bit of accolades she gets. So anyway, neither here nor there. All done.
Got it all done. Well, that's good. That's good.
And I
I
pimped
thought,
the
oh
show out a
no,
little
he's
bit
not
too.
going to make it.
Well, I pimped the show too because I had people that I said I got to go do a show. So they're like, "What are you doing?" And then I had to explain to about 6 different people what the show was and give them. So hey, I need to get cards made. That's all there is to it. I got to get cards made or something.
I'm thinking you do. I'm thinking you do. Give him all the information. So here you go.
Yeah, there you go. So anyway, so do you want to try and spiel out all that newfangled stuff we've got going on this coming during the week time thinking, or you just want to leave it because I put it in the actual comment or in the actual description of the show? It's all there.
I'm gonna try.
Okay.
I'm gonna try because
Do I need it?
on blondes and booze on Friday. I failed miserably, and I mean
Oh,
miserably.
so this is a practice session now.
Yeah. Well, no,
Oh,
it's yeah, yeah, it is.
I'm okay with that because, like I said, I'll be danged if I can remember half of it. So
I know. I mean, there are so many shows now that it was unbelievable. Because Krista typed them all up, and I'm like, "You're kidding me!" There's all those shows.
where do you think I got them for the description on the show? I just kind of copied and pasted.
I know. I think we should just leave it in the description because we
I bet.
know. I'm just gonna yell them out. Okay, we've got Texas Front Porch. We got Bigfoot Michigan Rob. We've got Paranormal Among Us with Paranormal Paul. We have us Truth or Tinfoil with me and Randy. We have got Blondes and Booze. We have Monica Rollins. She's got our Paranormal World, and we got Donnie Cho Says Stuff. I mean, we are jam packed,
That's what I
jam
like to
packed.
hear, though.
And then we have all the new shows with
Hmm.
with Paul in Tex doing Wednesday mornings with Waking Up Weird. We
Yep.
have me, you, Donnie Cho, and Paul Wednesday nights. We're doing a paranormal show and tell.
Yeah.
So we have got new shows all over the place. So if you don't have anything to do, hey, you can either watch us live or go back and watch it, but make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification button so we know you're there. Okay? How's that?
I guess they think I'm ignoring them. I'm trying to figure out what I'm ignoring still. So
No, literally everybody. He was sliding in. That's why we were just a couple minutes late because he wasn't even here. And
I
I was getting
fishtailed in.
ready. Yeah, I was just getting ready to start the show without him. And then he shows up. So he's
Literally,
just sliding
I
in.
made Bo and Luke Duke proud. Okay.
Duke's a hazard.
Yeah.
Right, right. But
Anyway, yeah, I stopped long enough to grab me a Dr. Pepper on the way up the stairs. How's that? So that'll tell you
there
something.
you go. There you go. Well, I heard tonight we're going overseas.
Yes. Yes, we are. We're going overseas because I found a good amount of stuff from Scotland. I didn't even break into England. I ain't even touched the England stuff yet. We're in Scotland. We're going through the Highlands. Okay.
All right.
I didn't get a for you people that love the Scottish Highland cows. No, I don't have any pictures of the Highland cows. Okay, you can find them all over Facebook. You have fun with it. Make them your pet. I don't care. They're still cows to me. All right, got it. My granddaughter will kick my you know what for saying that, but it is what it is.
No cows in the house.
Yeah, no cows in the house, and I got one. I got one right now that's trying to stick her head in. Yeah, go ahead. And she's like, "Can I use your shower?" She'll hit me for that later.
Sure.
Wish I have,
Sure.
But anyway, okay. So, and I made sure. Now, obviously, you think Scotland. Everybody and their dog thinks immediately Loch Ness, right? I don't.
Immediately.
I don't have a single Loch Ness. Okay, there's nothing from Loch Ness at all on here. So, well, let me double check my notes and make sure that minute I say that, the minute that something will be of Loch Ness. So, but I don't believe I have any. It's definitely nothing of the Loch Ness monster. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, because we've already done Nessie. We've already done
Yeah,
Nessie
and Ogopogo and Champ
Champ and yeah,
and
we've done them.
you can only do them so many times. You know what I mean? So,
All right.
but a couple of these kind of caught me a little off guard. I wasn't expecting a couple of these that I found. And let me get my presentation going. I don't think it's going to actually do it quite yet, but I want it to be in the background, ready to bring up here. Okay, so this first one, I had to do a lot of this. This is an eerie image of a figure in a period costume. I say costume because that's the way it was written up, but I think they were trying to illuminate to it being medieval type costume. It's at a Scottish castle that was spooked. It spooked experts conducting the biggest ever investigation into photographic evidence for ghosts, quote unquote. Okay, the picture was taken in May of 2008. Appears to be show a man or a woman because they can't really tell in a rough peering out of a barred window at Tantalon Castle. Now, I don't know if I pronounced it right, but Tantalon Castle has got a lot of history as being haunted, and there's been hundreds of investigations there. Um, no mannequins or costume guys are employed at the castle. This was actually stated, so I'm going to assume it's right. And 3 photographic experts have confirmed that no digital trickery was used on the photo. Tantalon Castle is a ruined fortress dating back to the 14th century, stands on a remote rocky headland near North Berwick on the Scottish east coast.
Well,
This,
because we always have to point out when they say that they've
yeah,
had experts. Now we
exactly.
have caught some experts
Ex- yeah,
not
we've looked at
exactly
experts
telling the truth.
a bunch of times going, huh? How did they miss that? Type thing. But
Right?
now think about it, 2008 time frame also, those digital expert or those photographic experts at that time may not have had the tools that we have today to look at it either. I mean, a layman with a computer, as long as he gets the right software, can tear a photo apart.
Well, think about it. We think 2008, oh, that wasn't a long ago
Yeah.
until we say, hey, we're in 2024.
Yeah. It's 16 years ago.
Right.
Okay. Now, the other thing with this actually got a write up, and I found the write up on CNN. There's a write up on CNN about this picture. It made CNN, and it hasn't been retracted to this date. I found the
Well,
article,
now
so that
that
lends a
that
little bit something to it.
it does.
Okay, so take a look at this. Now, I'm going to zoom in just on the right side right here so you can see the blow up portion first. Okay. I had to look at it 2 or 3 times to make sure that it wasn't in front of the actual steel grating right there. Because at first it looks like it. Then you look at it again, it looks like part of it is and part of it isn't.
To me, it doesn't.
It
That
doesn't look
just
like it.
looks like to me to be an optical illusion type thing.
You think so?
I think so. Just because the wiring is so small.
Yeah.
and how far it is up there, and then when you zoom in, you kind of lose some of the pixelation in the
Yeah.
picture.
So you think it's behind it, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. And I believe that because I mean the one that stands out is right here
Yeah,
across the
across the
eye.
forehead.
Yeah. You got the one across the forehead, you got the one across the eyes, and I think there's more of one showing here than what you want it to be. I think people are looking at seeing lips or whatever, but I think that's more of an actual grate right there, the actual wire.
Can you can you bring that in closer to us so we can take a look at it?
Yep, sure can. Now that's not fully obviously, but that right there, you can see how pixelated it gets. Well, y'all can't see it as well as I can over on this bigger monitor. Going, yeah, I can't see a whole lot right there now, but I do I do believe this is more of the wire going across the bridge of the nose and the eyeballs right here, or what seems
Yeah,
to be the
yeah.
eyeballs. But yeah, you're right. There is the other one that's right here across the forehead too.
There's one just up under the nose,
Yep.
but the one
I
that's getting me is the one below that because it does look like a mouth,
Yeah, right here. And
right?
it's in line. The mouth is in line with where that actual line that wire should be. Because here you see it over here. If it comes all the way across, it's going right across where the mouth would be. But what would account in that case for the upturn? Look like almost a smirk right here, maybe a little sheepish grin type thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I when I first saw it, I immediately thought, if you think about the old Victorian era portraits, they do Queen Elizabeth, even before that, Henry VIII, and that type. That's Shakespeare. I mean, the rough. It made it immediately made me think of Shakespeare a little bit too.
But you got to remember the location.
Exactly.
We're in the Highlands.
Yep. In a
So
Scottish castle.
were their beards and mustaches super crazy at the time? Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Depending on if they were noblemen or not, obviously.
Right, right.
Yeah. So I mean, just a little bit. I was able to dig up on the castle itself. It lends me to think this is more of a commoner more than a nobleman, because the noblemen were not going to be high up on the in the area where he. Let me see if I can bring it over a little bit so you can see kind of how far up we're talking now, mind you. The
Well,
nobleman ain't gonna climb all those
that just
stairs.
all depends.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it depends on
Because
their
I mean, they don't want their noblemen to be on the bottom floor, easily accessible. So they would
exactly.
put them up farther when they slept. But
Yeah,
you
I
know
can see
what?
that,
To me, that almost looks like a wax figure.
and that's why they actually stated about the wax figure and the a lot of these places have people working there that are in period costumes. So, but supposedly, the way I understood it when reading a little bit of the CNN article, supposedly this area right here where the grate's at, this area is blocked off because they don't know how long it's going to stay standing. You can't just walk up to it. Even the tours will only take you so high.
Yeah, and I get that. I get that point, but that doesn't mean that they couldn't have placed something up there with a
Exactly.
crane or whatever.
Yeah, and I fully understand. I cannot. I can only go off of what they actually said about it. So, yeah, I'm with you. Have I seen something probably like this in the old Madame Tussauds or the old House of Wax type places? More than likely, because I guarantee you, I've seen a Shakespeare wax figure in Madame Tussauds that probably would give this a pretty close resemblance. All right, what are we seeing over here, though?
Well, Cool Hand, he did say that that right there, where this thing is standing behind the gate, is not accessible
Yep.
to anyone except for, I'm sure, the people who maintain
Yeah.
it.
And I will say that quote unquote. That is what is expressed. Okay.
Right.
I can't tell
Because
you that
it
somebody is
is in, it's in terrible shape, and they don't know how long it will stay standing. So it is not accessible to anyone except for people who work there, I'm sure. But that's
yeah.
what I mean. Could they have done this?
Yeah. I mean, we
Absolutely.
could we could recreate it. I fully believe we could recreate it. But then
Oh yeah.
again,
This
yeah,
one, 100% we could recreate
yeah.
that.
But then again, you're at that same situation like with the Patterson Gimlin film. Why? Why would we create that particular situation other than to get noticed? Now,
Well,
don't get me wrong, they got it right up on CNN, so that's free publicity all day long.
that's right. That it is. It is.
Gary Senior, he got it. You can see the wire everywhere except one side of the face.
Yeah, that's what I said. When you zoom in on it, you will lose pixelation. And
Yeah.
because those wires are very small, even if you look off to the other, I'm going to say to the right hand side,
Oh, over here.
other side. Yeah, over here, keep going over. You'll see that we're losing some of the wire without anything behind it.
Yeah, right in this area you talking about.
Yeah, all around in there. We're losing the
Yeah,
wire in there. So
just
because of the
because of how far
pixelation
away.
and zooming it in, we will lose the crispness of the
Yeah.
photo.
Hmm.
I, you know, I ran across a photo of one of my friend's pictures the other day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if I didn't know this person and I didn't completely trust them 100%, I would
Yeah.
say it was a fake.
Yeah.
But it's the same type of scenario, except it was in a prison.
Yeah.
It was about 3 floors up.
Okay.
And it was a person in a prison garb going right across. You see him walking.
Really? That's the thing. You
Absolutely
have
100%. But
you
this
have
thing
a
looks
video on
as
that, right?
real as you and I. This thing looks as real as you and I.
And it's in a video, so you see it moving. This would have been great if they'd
No,
have taken an actual video.
I got a picture. I got a
You got
picture
a
of it.
picture, okay, but everybody
Yes.
there that you know for a fact saw it moving. So that and once again, our credence and our confidence in the evidence goes up with the people that are involved in it as well. We don't know
Yeah,
these
I
people that are
mean,
involved in
you
this.
start yeah, you start getting credible witnesses, when their stuff is proven, you
Yeah,
know, and you know their work, and you know that they're 100% truthful about everything.
exactly. That's the biggest thing right there.
But if
We
this was
have to
put on
know them.
CNN, if this was put
It
on
lends
CNN
something
and never
retracted.
right.
No op-ed on it at all. No retraction. They put it out there. Said this is what somebody said they caught. This is how it was, and then they talked about the castle itself, and that was it. Now, don't get me wrong. It's a CNN World Piece or whatever, like a Travel Channel almost type thing. But to be put on there, it has to be vetted in some way, shape, or form. So while I can't say it's a good catch yet, I can't debunk what they caught. I can
Could
recreate it,
we could we
possibly.
recreate it?
Yes.
Could we recreate it? Absolutely 100% we could
Yeah.
recreate that.
100%.
But the problem is that with full-bodied apparitions in full color, that's the
Yeah.
whole point.
Yeah.
Because they're supposed to be standing in proximity to you and look like a real person that you wouldn't even tell the difference.
Exactly. So there's no point in trying to debunk that because you may not even know you talked to them at that point or
Yeah,
acknowledge them at that point. And then you
right.
turn around, boom, they're gone, and you didn't know it.
I
I
mean, how many
mean,
stories have we heard of that where,
oh
they
yeah,
said, oh, yeah, I was talking to this woman, da 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 da. She was wearing period clothing, and then turn around and she was gone.
yeah,
How many times have
exactly.
we heard that same exact story,
And
you know? about that happening.
Yeah, same thing with how many hitchhiker stories have you heard like that?
Exactly.
So
Exactly. Can you zoom in on the big picture?
you want to go into the window now?
Yeah. Let me look
Oh,
at that a little bit.
that's as far as I can go in right there. I still have my biggest issue of the whole thing. How do you get from this that we're looking at right here to that?
All right, that's easy enough because if you look in the other picture, there is a white spot
Yeah.
where the face would be shown. That's
Okay.
it.
Yeah,
So,
I
and
understand
that
that.
right there is something that I would look at because it is out of place.
Yeah, and I can understand you want to look there, but how do you go from this picture that was originally taken being blown up to getting that level of detail right there?
It depends on what kind of camera they were using.
Well, and I
Now, I'm
understand
sure
that too,
they were
but this,
using digital. I'm
if it
sure they
was
were
white,
using,
yeah, but if it was white, wouldn't you think that this would be white, more white and not flesh tone? And
unless the
I
picture
don't
has
have
been
an answer for it.
enhanced.
Yeah, unless I don't have an answer for it. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying if I'm looking as a full blown skeptic, if I look at that and I see that white right there, and then I see somebody come back to me later on and say that's what's there, I'm like, I don't know if I can trust that because it's not two totally different shades. But once again, we don't know. I'm assuming digital as well, judging from pixelation. In 2008, it was probably a handheld, not a phone camera. It was probably a handheld digital camera, is what I'm thinking. If
Mm-hmm.
not, it was film, one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
And I zoom in, I see pixelation, but once again, we're talking about digital of a digital of a digital. So we're going to see a little bit of pixelation, but
I don't know. The only way to do that is to zoom in that picture, capture that, and then zoom in again to see if we see the same thing. That's the only
exactly,
way that we're going to do it.
yeah. And unfortunately, I don't have the technology to do that. I can't get to that level of the pixelation on it to get that close and to blow it up like that. So my bet
Well, we
is
don't.
now look at the stone here too. Here's the other thing. I have a feeling this part right here got enhanced when they did the zoom. I mean, you can see a little bit of it, but it looks like this little bit right here might be a slight bit of a different shade than what's here. I do see these parts right here. Don't get me wrong. I see this shading of this rock right here. That looks almost right in there. So if that's almost right, why wouldn't this be right as well? The face.
Well, as you know, when you zoom in on stuff, it does have a tendency to lighten in color. I don't know
Yeah,
why, but it does.
it just does. Yeah, it just does. I know.
So
But
maybe
dang,
that's the case.
I'm hoping that is because honestly, I really like this pick because this pick makes you think about what you're looking at. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean,
Because
you can clearly see that there is a male figure
that's what I
standing
was
there.
thinking too. I'm with who was it earlier? I think it wasn't Moon. Who was it? I think it was either Ristle or uh Cool Hand. I can't remember which one. I see a guy with a beard. I see a guy with no mustache and a beard.
And that's very possible. Very
So,
possible.
and I may be stretching just to say that, because when they say a rough, I'm thinking, you're thinking about the old pictures of Shakespeare with that ruffled collar of his.
We're in
I
a
don't think
totally
that's that.
different country. We're in
Yeah,
a totally different country.
but they did wear ruffs at one time. Now I don't know if they did it in the 14th century. I think it was after that. I think it was closer to the 16th century. But
Yeah, like I said, it depends on nobility. It depends on what this particular spirit where their time what their was their time frame. You know what I mean? What their life time frame.
yeah,
So we have to figure out what that would be. I mean, they don't have a clue on who it is.
exactly. They don't. They have nothing on it at all. That's it. Boom, right here. And we have
So that
spent
tells me
almost
right there that they don't have
Yeah,
because if it was on CNN, I mean, when you try to look up maybe some early photographs or paintings or something that would resemble what he looks like to at least get a roundabout time frame.
yeah, yep. Kevin got one good question there, and I'm pretty sure it has something to do with the building itself. I don't think there's a window behind that particular area. I think it's part of a hallway going out or a foyer going out to this second window over here. And of course, you're
Okay.
dealing with an old castle that is in ruins, so there is no telling what was actually the actual,
Yeah.
design for it at that point.
Right. I lived overseas and been through many castles in many different countries. And
Hmm.
usually what happens is one part of the building falls and they kind of lose the architecture in that. So you don't know what side was the hallway or was it a complete room or da 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 da. You don't know that. It's just hanging out. Some of them are really good and keep up with it, but then again, I mean, you're not going to find drawings laying around of what the castle was laid out to look like. You don't have blueprints. So
Yeah,
sometimes they do make a blueprint of what it is as it exists today, but they don't know the full extent of what
yeah,
it was sometimes.
no,
Because some of
yeah,
them are just left to just fall in. They're
oh yeah,
not maintained.
no, and the ones that are maintained are once again, you can maintain it as good as anybody in the world, but those stones and that mortar is stuff is going to eventually wear out. It's going to, unless you can reset it and actually any stonemason knows the same thing. If you don't solidify it and shore it up every so often, it's going to come down. The mortar will just degrade and it will come down.
Well, they're talking about the Alamos falling in for the very same reason. It's
Yeah,
just
it's
disintegrating.
exactly the same thing, and they won't
Mhm.
let nobody in the chapel right now, the way I understand it. So
Yeah, there's a bunch of well, I got to go in the chapel when I was there, but there were other places that were
off limits.
cut off.
Yeah,
Yeah, and they're having a problem, I guess, chemistry wise, where they don't have the correct stuff that'll stick to the current, to the current building. That it's just not
yeah,
staying. That it's just as the building crumbles, this stuff is just falling off with it.
yeah,
So they don't know exactly how to shore it up. So my recommendation, if you haven't seen the Alamo, go see it.
yeah.
Go see it because it may not be there. One day. I'm just
Yep.
saying.
Yeah, like I said, I'm with Moon. I can't say it's tinfoil at all because it's either somebody that works there that they're not admitting to, which
Well,
another
that's
one,
what Moon and Noon just said. Not
yeah,
tinfoil. Either
yeah,
someone that works there or a genuine apparition.
yep,
I
that's exactly,
believe that
yeah,
somebody put a figure there, a mannequin of sorts, or we're looking at a true apparition. But
yeah.
if CNN dug in it, I think we're dealing with something more than just a mannequin.
Oh yeah, I think they would have tore that apart if it was a mannequin or somebody there. You would have thought. Now, don't get me wrong. They probably just took it and said, "Hey, this is good. This is a good fluff piece we can throw out there for views or some crud like that."
Right. I mean, because if you wanted to show what somebody looked like during that period of time that the castle was inhabited, I mean, where else are you going to put it where people aren't going to bother it? You're going to put a
Well,
mannequin somewhere where people aren't going to bother it. Well, this floor is not for the public, so that would make sense.
okay, I'm answering Tammy there. Tammy Johnson says, live 10 minutes from there. Really?
From the
Wow.
Alamo.
I'm assuming the Alamo. I would. I was hoping she was meaning that castle right there.
No, no, she meant the Alamo. I saw it
Dadgummit.
when it came up when we were talking about the Alamo.
Hey, Kimber. Yeah, dadgummit. Never mind. I thought Tammy. Sorry. I thought you just talk about the castle because that's my bucket list country right there. My wife and family will not let me go with them because they'll have to prevent me. They'll have to try and make sure I come back. Okay. All right. So I think we beat this one like a dead horse. So I'm
Yeah, I
still
think it's
saying,
done.
yeah,
It's very good. It's very
yes.
good.
All right. But now we get this. We're going to get into a little bit. Now that was by far my favorite one of the whole bunch. But we got one now called "Ghost in the Woods." It's the picture appears to show a strange ghostly figure in the trees. Skeptics explanation of it is probably simply a mixture of shadow, leaves, and branches, which is our old faithful pareidolia,
Right.
and that's
You
exactly
know
what I
what?
thought when I
I
saw
just
it.
remembered something. I just
What
remembered something
what happened?
because I just got back a signal strength where I could use, all my equipment in my office. I just got back. I forgot my hat. It's
Oopsie.
out in the other room. Oopsie. I know. I am just not prepared.
Oh.
All right,
And
let's
I'm
see
the
the
one that
full
came
picture.
screeching in at the halt. Remember
I know. Let me
uh,
see the picture with, yeah, that one. No, not
the
that one. The other side.
the the
That
the,
side.
the
Yes. Let me see that one.
you want to go in a little bit further right here, as far as I can go in anyway. Now this is in Scotland. What do you see?
Well, I see what they're talking about, but I believe that's pareidolia.
I believe it is too, because I see a dadgum soldier with shades on. I see his
I believe that's pareidolia. I see a
yeah,
figure there.
yep. Because I mean, I can see a cap, I can see the shades, I can see the mustache, but that is 100% me wanting to see it because it's what it looks like and it's what I know.
All right, let's see the other side.
All right, go on to the blow up.
Yeah,
It's
I
definitely
believe we've got
pareidolia.
some pareidolia. Yeah.
Already the
I
shoulders
mean,
are
it does look
branches.
like something. It's
Yeah,
very
the
strange.
shoulders are branches. I can see that right there. And as you further you go down, you can even get away with a hand here or two, but that's all branches coming down, branches and leaves.
Yeah,
You know, it's too consistent with the background area. You know what I mean?
right.
Like Kimber said, it looked like a Civil War soldier. It looks like a soldier to me. And I mean, we're talking about the mid to late '80s type with the old BDUs on. It really looks like a lot of my first sergeants I ran it. I had to deal with it at one time. So
I think it's like with the shading and the way the picture was taken, it was a cloudy day, so things are, producing a lot of shadows.
yeah,
Um,
I think that's exactly what it
that
is.
are close together. Not like a sunny day where you can absolutely see this shadow or that shadow.
No,
It being overcast is kind of making everything shadowy.
yep, that's okay. I got you covered. Your
I'm
brain
gonna
will be
stomp that
melted.
out. No, I'm stomping it out with my Bigfoot
Uh,
feet.
okay, we can work with that. We can work with that.
Okay, so yeah, I
But
stomped it out.
your brain waves are being manipulated right now where mine are not. So
I know. I don't know what to do about it. I don't.
that's all right. I'm still looking at the end of the t-shirt thing. So trust me, there will be an announcement sooner rather than later. I will figure something out. I don't want to pay what people
Right.
want for that crap now. That's getting ugly. I might do it myself, and it's gonna be ugly. You're gonna get stuff that looks like crayon on it. So anyway,
Well,
I told you I can draw a stick figure all day long. All right, so that one obviously we're done with. Now we got the next one. It's called Ghost on the Street. A strange shadowy figure appears next to a couple in the picture. Skeptics' explanation is the blurring of the image suggests a long exposure, which we've seen here 100 times, and the person may have walked past a person may have walked past a photographer unnoticed. I still don't know how you walk by a photographer who's taking a picture in there and you're unnoticed, but quite frankly, they're just I don't know. There's just no doubt in my mind that's a long exposure.
All right, let me look.
I'm gonna bring it in. The guy's Italian, it looks like, because of the shirt.
I, I'm having a real problem with this
What's that?
because that's kind of like a very lovey position to be in,
Yeah,
taking
and
a
not be picked
picture,
up. Yeah,
and then this thing is right there. Now, I have done not long exposure, I've done burst photos
yeah,
where when people are walking in the burst photos, you can't see their whole entire body.
no,
Now, with these two being in that position, there would be no reason to take a burst photo.
no, not one bit. Or a long exposure if you want to get right down to it.
No.
Unless it was dead dark and they needed the excess light. But there's no way that figure walks in front of a cameraman without him noticing it.
Okay, so here we go. Listen. Okay. So up in the let me see, the right-hand corner, there seems to be a light on.
Yeah, I see that too.
So that looks like a street light.
Yeah, because they're
So
in an
that would tell me it's
amphitheater, it
dark
looks like to
outside.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, so it would be
He could do a
dark.
long exposure. Yeah, it could be a long exposure.
And it looks like it's outside.
Yep. Amphitheater of some sort, maybe, or something like that. But what lens?
And
Look at the blurring here on the walls and on the stones back here. That supports the notion of a
long
long exposure as
exposure.
well. Yeah. So,
Yeah, it does.
but once again, how does that figure walk in front of a cameraman without them seeing it?
Well, we don't always believe what's written.
Exactly. I mean, I have to call question to it. I would suggest it's definitely an overexposure or a long exposure is what it is. But I have a feeling this is somebody that's with the cameraman or with these two right here, and they walked up there not realizing that the shutter was already open.
Well, they're awfully close. I am
Yeah,
going to say that.
yeah, like
That's a
she was
lot. That's a
there,
lot close. It's kind
like
of
she
like a
was there.
creeper.
Yeah, or she was there when they first started it, and then she moved out. But if she moved out of the way after they did the long exposure or after they opened the shutter, you should have a blur of her going across. It shouldn't just be an image right there. There would be a
Well, this is the
motion
thing.
blur.
If they are not moving, if somebody's saying, hold it, don't move, don't move, don't move, they're not moving,
Yeah,
but yet
they're
another
not.
person in the photo's moving, you're going to get
Yeah.
this effect.
But wouldn't you have a blur
I,
where she's getting out of the photo?
who's getting out of the photo?
This figure right here.
I
Wouldn't
can't say if
she?
that's a he or she.
Well,
I can't tell.
the the shadow,
But
this
yes,
this image, wouldn't that person that you're thinking was there when it started, if they were trying to get out of the photo, there should be a movement blur of her getting out of the photo. Her, he, whatever it is. If it's an actual person, there should be some
if
sort of
they,
blur.
but you're taking in the assumption that they were trying to get out of the photo.
That's true too. But if they weren't trying to get out of the photo, then why wouldn't they be captured exactly like they were?
Because the couple was told to stay still, hold it, wait,
Okay.
don't move, don't move. The other person's moving, not realizing what's happening.
Okay. But once again,
I
that's where I
got
was
photos
saying,
like that. I
yeah.
got 100 photos like that.
So then the long exposure wouldn't capture a blur of her moving, her, he, she, it, whatever, moving out of the actual frame.
Depends on how long the exposure is. If it's only 3 seconds long, that's not a whole lot of time.
No,
Because
no.
if you back up behind that person,
Mm-hmm.
the it thing, and you move behind it, you will see a blur coming
Yeah,
through.
like it's stopping almost right here.
Right.
One wonder now. Here's another shot at it. She realizes, it realizes, oh crap, I just walked into this dang photo, stops right there and comes straight toward the camera at that point to get away to not cut in front of them.
Oh, I don't know about all that. That's
Yeah.
assuming way too much from what we're seeing.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you how this could happen.
Yeah.
Because they were being told the whole, and depending on the couple, they're a little bit blurry, and that
Yeah.
all depends on the handshake of the person holding the camera.
Yep.
Um,
And I can't even tell you what year this was taken either, though.
yeah,
Obviously, if it's a long exposure, obviously we're thinking film. Obviously.
I can take long exposures on my phone.
Well, I can too, but do you do yours in black and white?
Yeah, I can turn my color pictures black and white easy.
Well, yeah, I understand.
Push of a
But I'm
button.
saying, would you have done it in that situation? Is what I'm asking. That's what I'm trying to
If
get
I'm
at because
trying
I
to,
don't know. I don't know the time frame where it was taken. Was it taken in the '60s when they were taking this kind of stuff with black and white? But I don't think so because of his shirt. The Italia logo and stuff is too new. So uh, I can't tell you for sure because I don't know. But yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I think it is definitely a long exposure. I just don't know. I still question this part a little bit, but who knows? Because it is transparent. It's just a blur. It's transparent. You can see the stuff behind it.
that's right. I got a million pictures to prove it, just like that,
Yeah.
of real
So,
people living.
and I'm not saying it's
So
bad or not. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I'm trying to figure out a way to debunk it type thing. So, and
if
I
I
don't know
were
if I
trying to
can.
pass this off as a ghost, if I'm trying to pass it off as a ghost, I would turn it black and white.
Yeah. And I can see that too. I fully understand that one too. Question is, were they even thinking that way? And I can't say. I can't say one way or the other. But I don't think it's really quote unquote legit as a ghost. I still think, like you were, I think it's long exposure. I think somebody got in the way.
Yeah. Because I'm not
But
going by that description like they didn't know that that was there. I don't.
yeah, I don't believe
I
that
think
either.
that's
Because
just how they caught a person walking up on a long exposure.
remember a couple 3 4 weeks ago we did one that had the kids and the girls in the playground. They were leaning on that one uh, what you call it, the park bench. They were leaning against that, and they had what looked like that figure of the person going beside them, that blur. That's what I was thinking with that one because that was an overexposure, and it was a guy going by real fast, and it got caught in the
Hmm.
overexposure or the long exposure. So, but
Hmm.
I I can't I can't discount it, but I think we could recreate it pretty easy.
No, yeah, you can create them super easy. Like I said, I've got a ton of those, a ton,
I mean, yeah, because I mean, look, even
and
the little
burst
movements that they've
shots.
done.
Not even
Yeah, look at the little
not
movement.
even in long exposure.
Yeah, look at his hand. I mean, that's definitely long.
Look at his sleeve.
Yeah, it's all blurred. Everything's blurred. So he's moving during the whole time. He's not staying still. So,
Hmm.
so
Hmm. Like I
okay,
said, you can do it either way. Either way,
yeah,
burst shots or long exposure, you can get the same effect.
yep. So we will
Yeah.
leave it at that one on that because, like I said,
Hmm.
it is what it is on it.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not. I'm gonna say that's not.
paranormal.
No.
I'm with you on it. I'm with you. It's a blur of some sort, either long exposure or motion or something. So, all right. Yes, yes, yes. Bingo. We'll go with
It's getting the Bigfoot boot.
it. Did you scrape something?
Yes,
Oh, I'm saying, we. I
my
was like, what
desk with
the
my
hell?
fingernail.
I was like, what the
Like,
hell am I here?
did you hear
Stop
this?
that.
Listen.
No, it was actually more of a squeal.
Nope, I didn't do that.
Kind of, it wasn't. a squeal. It's like when you take two pieces of rubber together. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I heard. No,
I didn't
it
make
wasn't
that
that.
noise.
Yeah, I'll go back
No,
and
and
I'll
then
find
you.
it.
Okay.
I'll find it again. What's my mark number?
Go around
About four.
4615. Yeah.
Yeah, 46. So I'll take a look, see what we got. So, all right. So now we're going to try and move along a little bit quicker, maybe. I hope. Now we got a ghost in the mirror. Yay! This is going to probably get killed real quick, but ghostly face. Let me take that off. I'll wait before I put that back on. Ghostly face appears in a car's wing mirror. Photographer says no one else was around at the time. Skeptic's explanation. And you notice I found a lot of skeptic explanation on some of these too. So the face could be a reflection of a headrest, someone standing nearby, or the result of digital manipulation. All right. That is not it. Ghost in the mirror. Oh, that's the ghost on the beach. We don't want that one yet. Bam. There we go. And just in case you didn't know it was there, we got red circles for you.
Okay, I see something in the mirror, but I can't see anything, what it is exactly. For me, that is super small.
Yeah. I'm gonna zoom in for you here.
Okay.
Don't look this one over here, but as we get closer, it looks more pronounced in this one than it even does in this one. I don't know how it creates that effect from a headrest, though.
Absolutely not. That is not a headrest.
No, I say no head on the headrest, but I can't get enough of a clarity on it to tell if it's something between the seat, the way the angle we're looking at it, obviously, would have it somewhere in this area.
No, no. Because if you had it pointed in that far, you would only see the side of your car. It wouldn't be in the proper position to drive. Right?
No, but we're not talking about from where the driver's at. I'm talking about from where we're looking at it from that angle from the camera right here. It should be reflecting in this area over here to the right of where the driver would be. Because the driver's right there. Yeah, we would be looking more along the lines of the fender well, straight in. But we're further out at a different angle, so that angle is going to be even further. So I would point this as somewhere in the middle of the car here somewhere.
No. I don't know. I mean, because if I walk up alongside my car and I look in the side mirror, I'm gonna see that seat right there.
Exactly. But we're not at that angle. We're not right next to the car. We're out at another probably 30 degrees. Much like when say your kids are in the back seat and they look in the rearview mirror and they can see your face and you can see their face. But if you move that mirror any one little bit, you're looking at the kid over in another seat. You know what I mean? I think it's the angles.
I'm at a loss for this one.
Yeah.
Because the face in the mirror looks as if they're in the vehicle.
Yeah. Somewhere in that
It's
front
too
seat.
close. Yeah, it's too close.
Mm-hmm. And quite frankly, as big as that face is, it should be right there staring in it, looking at you. You should
Right.
see it around the steering wheel. It's still at that
Right.
same angle that I was talking about. It'd be over here, but as the size of it, you're right. That should be almost right there.
Right. Well, it honestly, Hair Force says this is a no-brainer, and John says it all depends if mirror isn't angling out. To me, it doesn't matter what angle this mirror is at. There is nobody standing there close enough to have their face appear that big in that mirror.
Exactly. There's nothing there to cause that.
That's where my problem is.
Because, like we're saying, the size of your face, our regular size face, we would have to be literally putting our face right around that steering wheel. to get that same angle, we would have to be right in this area right here. And once again, we're talking about it's a Mercedes. I can't tell if that's a Mercedes. I'm assuming it's a Mercedes. Maybe not.
It's an older
Maybe
one for sure.
Yeah. I mean, look at the one over here. You talk about probably, I'd bet this is probably mid 90s. Judging from this car up here alone. Don't judge the yellow VW Bug there. Don't judge that one.
Yeah. There you go, Kimber. Images do not appear that large when non-existent. That makes the sense.
Makes sense.
That's it. That's it.
100%. I didn't even know I had that. I must have coughed and forgot I put my mic up there. I've been talking into the wind there.
Yeah, Freaky, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Freaky said, question, could it be a cutout of a picture taped to the mirror to make it look like it's real? Absolutely.
I agree. It very well could be. Either way, it's either a damn good catch or they did a good amount of stuff to try and, fake us out on it, because I cannot zoom in enough. Obviously, you see how pixelated this zoom in gets, right? And the further I get in, you lose everything.
Yeah, the picture does, it does look like there may be a roof above the person's head, but that's a convertible. So, I mean, I've talked about it before in other shows where we talk about people loving their vehicles so much that their ghost will inhabit that vehicle. They will attach themselves to that vehicle. We even did a story on a woman who buried herself with in her car in the ground.
Oh,
that's how much people love their cars.
That. Yeah.
Right. And we talked about James Dean's car, and all kinds of other stuff. And we've talked about the attachments that people will have with their vehicles. Could this be something like that? Could this be a hoax? I'm on the fence.
Yeah. And quite frankly, I don't want to say pareidolia with it, but it really could be, though. Judging from
it could be or not. I don't know.
Yeah, but we don't have enough evidence one way or the other than just, hey, somebody snapped this picture and this is what we saw in the picture. That's what we got. So, yeah, you could read anything you want to into it. Honestly, you could read anything you want.
Yep, you could say it's not a ghost. But do you really know? Were you there? Did you take the picture? Do you, did you study the thing? Or how do you know it is a real ghost? I mean, again, did you see it? Did you, I mean, honestly, you could go either way with this. I mean, it's all in what you believe here.
Yeah. So, I mean, all right, white stripe across. I saw that. Where was that? Truth Walker. What's the white stripe across the face? I didn't even consider that a white stripe. I considered it more of a glare off of a cheekbone type thing.
But then again, it's all in a person's perception. It could have been.
Exactly. He sees it as a war paint or some sort of white striping across it. But Scotland, I would think we wouldn't be talking about even though the driver's side, this is in Scotland now, mind you, but the steering wheel's on the wrong side for Scotland. Now that I sat there and started looking at it.
You're right.
Yep. And everybody's parallel parked on the right side instead of the left side, like they should be in Scotland.
Unless this has been flip-flopped, you know what I mean?
Yeah, mirrored. I can't.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing. They blurred out the license plate. That is a European style license plate holder, but that license plate there is not the normal European style.
Oh, I you know what, my I'm going to say my license plate in Europe was about this long. I mean, it was super long.
So I'm saying, looks at
It
license
was
plate
thin. Yeah, it was thin and long.
long. Yeah. Well, that looks like a stateside plate, but that's a European style holder.
Yeah, you're right about that. Not unless that's one of their temp tag type things.
That could be too. But once again, we're trying to
That
read
is
into it a little
that
bit more.
you're right. That is a European license holder. So
Yes,
it is a car
it is. I
that
would
was
say
made
it's in
for
Europe. Yeah, it's not
European
American.
use.
It's not American spec. Here's the
Right.
other thing to tell you: anybody's been in Germany or whatever that learned American versus European spec, there's no side markers. Go out and look at your car. Every one of your cars has a side reflector, side marker. Europeans don't have that.
Except my car.
What'd you do?
That's because
Break it
I
off?
took my car with me. I
Oh,
took my
well,
car
yeah,
with me.
yeah. Well, when we came back, we brought a BMW with us, and we made sure that it was American spec before we brought it back. So we bought it while we were over
Right.
there. So, but anyway, all right. Let's see if I can throw one more in here before we lose all sorts of credibility with our own selves. Now, you know what? I'm going
Right.
to go back
But
to the one
you
we
know,
jumped
I
past.
do want to say this about this car. I do want to say this about this car. These
You want it?
these vehicles, even though you're driving on the wrong side of what we would consider the wrong side of the road in England,
Yeah. Yep.
a lot. Okay, these are like states. They're not like huge countries like the United States of America. These are like
Yeah.
states. Like
Yep.
Germany could fit inside the state of Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would only take me like just a few hours to travel to another country. That's all it would take me. It
Yeah.
would take me no more than that. So these cars do transfer from country to country.
All the time.
Depending on where they're moving and what's happening. So I mean, there is that. My light just changed color. Did you notice that?
Yeah. I kind of. Yeah. What are you doing? Are you flickering there too?
I haven't touched anything.
Were you flickering as well?
No.
Kind of looked like it might have been a little bit of a flicker there too. Okay, I'll just say this on this one. This is probably a
Okay.
German car. Most likely a German car is what
It,
I'm
it,
thinking.
I have no idea what it is,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying that I don't know about this picture. Like I said, there's so many ifs in that picture. I don't even know.
Yep. Okay. I'm gonna see if I can find one of them. I can say, nah, you know what? We're gonna go to the one before it. This is a ghost on the beach, quote unquote. I call it a Bigfoot on the beach.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. this one, this right up here. A mysterious dark hooded figure stands at the water's edge. Skeptics' explanation: figure is an illusion created by an indentation in the rock face. I can see that right here.
Yeah.
You know, this area, I can see that looks like it could easily be, and that's the reflection because it really doesn't come onto the gravel here. There's a little bit of discoloration there, but I would say this is all part of the reflection of
But
the
it goes
water
right in the
and
water.
yeah,
But it goes in the water, and there's no water.
there is water.
See how
That's
weird
water
that
all
looks?
the way up to there. Yeah, that's water all the way up to there though.
Yeah, but it looks like it's in the water,
Yeah, it looks
like
like
an
it's
indent
standing in the water,
in.
doesn't it? Here, let me bring up this one over here. This a little bit
I don't think
closer.
it's an indent.
You don't think so?
I don't think so because if you look, it travels further down than just what they circled. Well, yeah, okay, got it. Now I see it.
Yeah. You see,
Now I
like
see it. That's the
this is the
reflection on the water.
exactly. That's what I'm thinking too. This is now. Don't get me wrong. There's still some pareidolia going on right there. Look like King Richard
Yeah.
looking at you, huh?
That's a cool looking picture though.
Yeah. I mean, because when you look at it like that, if you don't have that there, you're like, "What the heck is that?" There's a ghost right there. But you zoom in, you can see it's literally the rock face right there. The indent of the
I
actual rock. Yeah.
yeah. I would have called it the Man in the Rock, or I wouldn't have called it a ghost, or
Yeah.
I just called it Man in the Rock. That's kind of
And
cool.
people are believing it, but if you go back to spot, obviously the rock face is going to be where it's at again, you know. So if it's there and you got
Yeah.
the right reflection and the tide's in, you're going to be able to recreate this
Oh
easily.
yeah. Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
That
think it's
is
just I
that
think
is
it's
a rock
misidentification.
formation.
I don't think the dude was
Yeah.
trying
I
to
mean, it does
spoof
look like a
anything.
guy though.
Yeah, back away, it sure does.
Yes, it does.
So that's just a cool. That is a cool, you know, angle to actually catch that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It is a really cool picture, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's all natural.
Yep. And we spent a good amount of time on just the first five. Well, I still got five more to do. We may have to revisit this one again because I found another one from that Tantalon Castle, like the first picture. I found another one there. I think we'll be able
Well,
to
we
tear
can
that one apart.
continue on that with that next week. We can go and
Yep,
looking more into that.
that sounds good. We would
So,
probably do
I
that.
mean,
So
because I'm interested in these pictures for sure. I really love the way, we can look at new things instead of the same old US stuff. I
yeah,
like looking, at stuff
I like
that are
looking
on other
abroad.
continents for sure.
Yeah, looking
Yeah.
abroad. I like the one with the that one apparition we saw from Australia, the tea room. Remember that we were like, okay, that's a good catch. We couldn't figure out how it could have been faked,
Right. Right.
but so anyway, Air Force, I put everything out there. I'm waiting on people to decide what they want to do with it. But like I said, I want to see some more of the full videos as well, not just the cutouts.
And right. And you have to please be nice. That doesn't sound very nice, and
Yeah.
that's stuff we don't need on our channel. So, thank you.
So anyway,
Anyway, but let's just revisit this next week and just
okay,
continue on with what we've
we'll
got
continue
because
on with
I
this,
love
and then
these.
we'll
Yeah,
go
because
right
I love
into
these.
yep. Then we'll go right into England after that, probably because there's a ton in England.
Right, right.
So
Okay, well, I'm loving it. So let's just continue on with our European vacation next week.
sounds good. Next week, see you guys next week. Y'all have fun, and don't forget. I guess Infamous Minds is coming on next pretty soon. I don't know. We shall see.
Yeah,
All right,
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock,
See everybody
and
later.
later's.